be a Zerg versus Protoss, and the winner of this particular series is going to go up against FXO's Slavic. So game 2 is going to be on Metropolis, guys. Let's get into the game. Spawning over here at the 3 o'clock position on Metropolis, we have our blue Zerg player. Ladies and gentlemen, he is Remnant, who is currently 1-0 down to the Protoss spawning in the 6 o'clock position. Now, we have Scooter, our red Protoss, who apparently won his first game with a 2-base Sentry Immortal all-in. So it does look like the spirit of Startail parting has creeped in at the ESET UK Masters. Let's see what these guys elect to do this time around in game number 2. Not too much going on at the moment. Both sides electing to just macro up as hard as they can. Scooter might try and go for a Nexus first build. Just going to make sure there's no early pool or anything like that. And of course there isn't. Remnant maybe trying to sneak in a hatchery before his pool here. Let's find out. No, it looks like the pool is going to go down first. Scooter had his probe there ready to block if necessary. He actually put down the forge first anyway. So Scooter's going to be relatively safe from that. He'll be able to put down a cannon nice and early, and in the meantime, this probe is going to be the world's most annoying probe. Now we see back in his base just continuing to chrono boost out probes. His probe is being very, very annoying so far. Remnant forced to move that drone a little bit further inside the mineral line, and of course you don't really want to go in with that probe because a lot of drones can potentially get hits off on you even if you mineral walk out of there, so he does run the risk of losing it a little bit. Going to be attacking the pool because, hey, why the hell not? And in the meantime, Scooter actually putting down the first cannon before his Nexus, so he's taking his time about getting this Nexus down here. We often see Nexus firsts even against Zerg these days, and Scooter really, really chilling out as far as that is concerned. And the hatch does go down before the probe can intervene, so not even requiring those lings to pop out from Remnant. Scooter maybe could have blocked that hatch a little bit more effectively. So we'll find out exactly what is going on. In the meantime, we have got the gateway now going down for Scooter. So things looking pretty chilled out. Not too much to worry about. And guys, this is really just a little bit of a lull in the game here. Remnant's going to be getting his Zergling speed. He's going to be droning up as fast as he can and possibly going to a third base. We'll see. If he doesn't end up going for a third base, we're going to see some sort of massive 2-base timing come out of Remnant, but that's not what the current metagame in DBP dictates. And in the meantime, still going on 2 bases here. Only now taking his second gas, though. And Scooter giving his opponent a lot of scouting information here. He doesn't have a... Does he have a cybernetics core? Okay, there we go. Cyber core going down now. Not quite a full wall off. I think there's a tiny gap between that pylon and the cybernetics core. I'm not 100% sure, but he can always destroy the destructible rocks if desired. Now moving stuff over to his natural expansion. And the cannon's going to be focusing that down as well. He needs to be careful, because if the cannon's actually focusing down the rocks there, Lings might be able to sneak in if he's not actually watching and microing. In the meantime, we have Remnant going up to lair off of 2 base here. So this isn't a fast 3-hatch strategy, but Scooter also hasn't scouted it. So he doesn't even know if the 3rd hatch has been taken yet. He does have a probe in the north side of the map, but he hasn't been very active with it, to be perfectly honest. We even have a Ling on patrol trying to make sure that Scooter doesn't scout the 3rd base here. I wonder what he has planned. Oh, wow, we have a Baneling nest going down for Remnant. Interesting indeed. So let's see what he ends up doing with this. Another gateway going down for Scooter, taking things very, very chilled out at the moment. And he's not actually producing any workers right this second. There we go, starting up again. They're at 31 workers each at the moment. And the Overlord is going to get out of the base because he knows that Stalkers can be made right now. But if we take a look at the units tab, we've got 31 probes and a single Zealot. So Scooter really not feeling any sort of pressure right here. And it looks like he's going to try and use that to just get as many workers in as possible. 3 more gateways coming down now finally, so we are going to see +1 4-gate pressure by the looks of things coming out of him. And a Remnant, after getting an Overlord picked off there, a little bit supply blocked, he's going to be moving out across the map with some Zerglings to the natural expansion of Scooter. So both sides really just not doing too much at the moment, just sort of chilling out, leaning back. Scooter feels like he's the first one to go offensive here. He is actually going up to 6 gateways with this +1, and he has got the pylon gone down in what would be the 5th base location of Remnant in the northern map. Still 6 gateways total coming down. Warp Gate research is about 15 seconds away from completion. Those gateways will complete. A bunch of links now from Remnant, just going to be scouting things out. And he now takes his 3rd base after his lair is almost complete. So a little bit later on the 3rd base here from Remnant. Maybe he has a specific reason for it. We'll find out in just a sec. But his economy here isn't necessarily going to be able to hold off this 6 gateways worth of stuff just coming out from Scooter at this moment in time, and a huge number of Banelings morphing in, so 7 should be enough to take out a pylon or a cannon or similar. But is he going to be able to get past the force fields? Add the Zealot at the front of the base. A couple of Stalkers warping in on the high ground now. Going to be moving either towards the 3rd base or the natural. And Remnant, he's going to see this with his Lings if he stays there for too much longer. No, he doesn't. And the Banelings look like they're getting ready to move in. A couple of units moving out. And all of the Banelings go off there outside the natural expansion. The Zealot and Sentry are dead, but the 2nd Sentry is still alive. And basically all of those Banelings went off on the Zealot and Sentry. So even though he got a Sentry, that's a really good trade there for Scooter, who's now ahead, 68 supply to 60, and Remnant is fearing an all-in. Look at this. He has so many Spine Crawlers up. All Scooter has to do is come in and stop the 3rd hatchery, which he will be able to do, because neither side has really made an absolutely massive army early on in this game. Even attacking with a probe there is Scooter, and he just has to restrict Remnant to 2 bases while he continues to tech up. I mean, this is just perfectly fine here for Scooter. Putting down a couple of pylons as well to make sure he can reinforce, and here comes Remnant with some Lings and Banelings, but I don't think it's going to be enough to destroy this army. I think Remnant needs to wait and defend at the Spine Crawler. That's exactly what he's going to do. He finally has his Roach Warren up, and he's getting 8 Roaches out right now, and he's also going for a Spire. So I'm liking that composition a lot better than the one he currently has against the army of Scooter. But it's 2 base versus 2 base, where Scooter is just enjoying a reasonably healthy advantage right now. He has units. He's across the map. He's forcing his opponent to stay on 2 base, and here we go. It looks like, is Remnant going to be moving out? No, not quite. He was just prodding forward there, waiting to see if a timing was possible. Another warping coming in from Scooter now. It looks like he is raring to go. 103 to 94 supply, and Remnant coming out to try and get the biggest concave he can. And the force fields stopping the Banelings. So the Banelings do exactly 0 damage in this engagement. The force fields are fantastic. 4 Spine Crawlers are a lot of damage. 5, sorry. One of them had a force field directly on top. Was pretty good. And Scooter backs out of that 83 to 89 supply as it currently stands. And Remnant is continuing to reinforce here. The Spire is now about to complete, but a lot of Stalkers are on the way for Scooter. He needs to stutter step those Stalkers forward, so the ones at the back can shoot. There we go. Move forward just a little bit more. The Spine Crawlers are slowly going down, being repositioned, but getting killed off before they can actually root themselves. And now we have a decent number of Roaches coming in from Remnant, and it looks like Scooter is going to be pushed back by Remnant here. Another warp in of Stalkers and Zealots might be able to push him back for now, but 5 Mutalisks are on the way, and Roach Muta, admittedly not that great against pure Stalker, but once you have some Zealots to tank the damage, and those Stalkers can do an insane amount of DPS, Remnant needs to be really careful that the Mutas and the Roaches hit at the same time. Because if the Mutas fly over the Stalkers while the Roaches are still dealing with the Zealots, then the Stalkers just pick off the Mutas and deal with the Roaches separately later on. That is the big problem right now. But Remnant so far has been holding on quite strongly. He still has 2 Spine Crawlers, and here comes Scooter, going to try and pick apart Spine Crawler number 1, manages to do so, and then retreats back. Here come the Mutalisks, and Scooter knows that they're there now. He showed them completely. Let's find out what they're able to do. Are we going to send the Mutas across the map to destroy as many probes as possible while the Roaches defend? That could be an idea here, but a lot of Zealots were just morphed in from Scooter. It looks like Remnant had that idea, but he's moving back out now because he sees absolutely gigantic warping, and the Mutas being targeted down by the Stalkers needs to be oh so careful. And now we have the Zealots forming a huge wall. And look at this, the Roaches attacking the Zealots while the Mutas get engaged by the Stalkers. This is exactly what I was talking about before, and this is a dream engagement for Scooter. The Mutas are basically dead save 1, and that one is actually on quite low hit points as well. And Remnant only defending now with Roaches. He's losing so much in these engagements. Needs to be very, very careful indeed. And in the meantime, the economy for both players stands at 37 workers, so this is a really, really tense game. Two bases of both sides. A lot of those zealots, actually. There we go. Now moving to the front of the queue, trying to tank a little bit of damage. Remnant starting to have his supply dwindle just a little bit, but Scooter unable to keep up with those warp-ins right now, and it looks like the better concave is going to go to Remnant. And Roaches and Mutas in combination here are going to try and drive Scooter back. Scooter with another massive warp in 79 to 77. This really is a boxing match. These players are absolutely throttling each other at the moment. But now, Scooter has a good position to get in and try and take the natural expansion. The natural is also the layer. So this could potentially be absolutely huge for him. A lot of spine crawlers going up in the main base for Remnant. But Scooter's going to be playing against the one-base Zerg in a moment. So the spine crawlers aren't really going to matter too much. And the lair is about to go down, trying to pick up a couple of those roaches as they hatch. And wow, leaving the lair alive, needs to make sure he kills it off on the way out. Otherwise, Remnant will be able to remake all his tech instantaneously if he decides to go up there. But it looks like he's moving into the spine crawler wall now. These roaches are feeling very, very lonely. A couple of seconds now before the spine crawlers actually start up, and now the stalkers are just going to be moved back, and a lot of drones are going to be picked off here. Scooter now on 71 supply versus the 32 from Remnant, and I think we're going to be seeing a GG pretty shortly indeed. A lot of spine crawlers have gone up here, but the lair is about to die. He won't be able to remake a spire, but I think it still is standing in the main base. There we go. But Remnant is having such a difficult time right now. Scooter just continuously warping in. He's still 30 workers killed versus 9, so the mutas are able to do a little bit of damage, but honestly not that much, because he has 31 workers versus 8 at the moment, and this just isn't a situation where Remnant can hold on adequately in the long term, losing the rest of his army. GG, well played! And Scooter, ladies and gentlemen, takes a 2-0 win, and he is going to be going up next against, I believe, Slavic.